Hello.
Hello, hello.
How is everybody?
Oh,
We're
fantastic.
good. We're
You know,
good.
how are you doing today?
Not too shabby.
Thank you again for joining us here. We're
Yes.
kind of, I mean, I guess it's a little more relaxed for the style of interview we
Yeah,
do.
like I had mentioned, very conversational versus direct pointed questions. We just kind of we prefer it that way, and we've noticed, people tend to enjoy that.
So let me ask you a direct pointed question. What type of music do you like?
Oh my god. Music is one of those things that I don't I have okay, music is a tough one because I will have a preference for
Yeah,
a musical genre, but
yeah.
my body will have a physiological response that's like, nope, can't listen to that. Like I've gone periods of oh, the last time it happened to me, it was like a week and a half long where I could only listen to classical music because
Nice.
anything else made me sick to my stomach, like made me physically ill.
Wow.
Oh,
And it sucked because part of me was like, I don't want to listen to classical music all the time. Can we change the channel? And my body's like, no, classical music forever. Like so when it comes to musical preference, I don't know how much of it is like a conscious choice and how much of it is just like me trying to avoid pain.
Yeah.
yeah,
But
I can
recently,
understand that.
right? But recently, I've been listening to a lot of I'll stumble upon these Norwegian girl bands, pop people.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah,
Like
that works.
there's a Norwegian, or I think she's Norwegian, named Aurora that I really like, and there are these two sisters in Sweden. What is their name? I don't remember. There's also Katzenjammer, who it's four girls. They went to the University of Oslo for music, all four of
Yeah.
them, and so they all play like all the instruments and they all sing. And so I've really been into that recently.
No,
There
right on.
is, I can't remember. I know of one. It might be the band that you're forgetting the name of too, that I've been listening a lot to, but most of my experience with Norwegian music is like death metal and
Oh
I mean,
yes,
that's pretty
stuff
normal
that's
like
for
that.
huge there.
the
Yeah.
northern Europe.
Right.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I had an ex of mine was like he went because he was a bassist and he went to some like city up in Sweden that's like the death metal home of whatever it is. So he was super into it. So when I did acquire an appreciation for it. I have an appreciation for like all kinds of music, but I haven't listened to it in a really long time.
Yeah,
Yeah, see.
it goes in moods like
Mm-hmm.
different. I don't know. There's a rotation of different moods, like
Yep.
20 different playlists on Amazon Music or
Yep.
whatever. It's just like whatever's rocking today is we're gonna go with that.
Yeah, we
Exactly.
listen to a lot of variety, and I'll go from listening to, like, by choice, classical music, and I'll flip to folk and then hip
Yep.
hop and
Yep.
punk, and literally just what am I in the mood
All
for
the
this
things.
week? Lately, it's
Yeah.
been lo-fi remixes, especially of
Okay.
like video game music. That's what I've been listening to a lot. Just because it's
Do you
something
guys
chill and I can put on the background, no words I have to worry about.
wait, tired dad?
Yes,
Do you also play then? You play? Both of you play?
I play a little guitar, drums, and I sing.
Do you guys have a do you have a difference in like what you prefer listening to versus what you prefer playing? Like what's more fun to play versus what's more
I've
fun to
tried to
listen to?
control kind of my style when I play, but it kind of just ends up being me. Like I don't have a whole lot of say in what I'm playing. Um, it's partly because of my own limitations. I mean, when I'm playing saxophone, it's all jazz. When I am
Sure.
playing piano, it's like Ben Folds or Elton John.
Mm-hmm.
Very
And when
cool.
I'm playing guitar, it just ends up being blues, rock, or punk.
That's
Yeah.
Uh,
See, when
what I
I
grew
play
up on.
drums, it almost is always just like your core rock, maybe a little heavier, kind of punk like. And then when I play guitar and sing, because I know very little guitar, enough to where I can pick it up and sing a song and play some chords. I prefer like your kind of folky rock. Like
Don't let him lie to you. The only thing he can play on drums is disco.
Oh my.
That's all he's good at.
I wish I were good at disco. That sounds like it'd be fun.
Right? I am not great with guitar, but when I do play guitar, it'll be either Weezer, Nine Inch Nails, or Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah, we did a Weezer cover, the sweater song, and I'm not allowed to play it in the house anymore because my wife and I, we dated in high school when I was playing the cover, so she heard it during our band practices like over and over again, and it was just like no more of that ever again, and let's do something new. But the band, were you talking about First Aid Kit?
Yes, that's it.
I love their stuff. Fuck, I don't know what they do. Like it's not.
It's like a folksy.
Yeah, it's not. It sounds a little folksy. It sounds a little southern rock.
Yeah.
And like it's such a nice little blend. I don't know how
so
they.
Nice, and they harmonize really well together, and they do a lot of like octave harmonizations.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Versus like thirds or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is actually kind of like calming. It's really nice.
But like the Emmylou, I loved that song. I introduced my wife to that, and she loves it. It's very. If you haven't heard it, Russell,
I'm literally looking it up on Spotify right now.
Don't play it now. I mean, we're in the middle of an interview.
Well, I'm not right now. I'm just going to save it to my playlist.
Yeah, that's a good one. Definitely. So, are you a Midwesterner too?
I'm from Minnesota.
Yeah, you gotta. That slips in every now and then.
When I get excited. Oh, I know. If you hear the latest show that I'm in, her name is Ai, and it's Wonder Egg Priority, and every once in a while I'll say a word, like it'll slip in there, and it'll be like, oh, that's so Minnesotan shit.
Yeah, I've actually been eyeing that. I've been seeing a lot of stuff on Twitter about Wonder Egg Priority, and I'm actually in the middle of finishing season 2 of Fruits Basket. Oh, and not just because we're interviewing with you, but Momiji is absolutely one of my favorites.
Oh my god, me too.
So,
not because I'm playing him.
I legitimately, I've legitimately cried a few times, and one of the first big times, like I had big old tears coming down, was when you hear about his background.
I know.
Oh my god, I just wanted to like reach into the TV and hug him, be like, It's okay, Momiji, I'm here for you.
Right? I know. It's like, I'll be your mom. And even recording that in the booth, Caitlin is so great to work with as a director, because she's really, she gives you that space to be vulnerable. And like, there have been so many times where Momiji is like he just comes in out of the blue, out of nowhere, and has these like tragic stories that he tells. And you come out of the booth and you're just like, oh my god. I've been crying in the booth.
I believe it. I can only imagine, we did theater and stuff in middle school and high school, and I did a little in college. And, when you get into a character, you play a character, you get into that and you feel that. You can't say certain lines without feeling that emotion in your core.
Not me. I was a terrible actor. I did it, but I was bad at it.
But
with music.
But yeah, I have to watch that when my son's in bed, or he's just going to be like, "What's wrong, Daddy? Are you okay?"
And Fruits Basket was my it's so cool to be part of this show, because like, other than this, like, I don't remember what movie it was that like one of my sister's boyfriends had us watch or something. It was funny, but like, other than that, my introduction to anime was through Fruits Basket. One of my friends in high school, like she and her friends were super into it, and she and I were in theater, so like I hung out with them, and they introduced me to Fruits Basket, and we were watching it, and I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. It was so good. And then like years later, here I am doing Fruits Basket.
Right.
Oh
that,
yeah.
like got me into the appreciation of anime, and I was like, oh my god, this is surreal. Like I was so honored, and I'm so honored to be Momiji because he's so
so
and he's
positive.
so pure.
Yes,
and
he's a very innocent character where, you know, everything he says, like there's always a positive twist that he puts on it, or, you know,
and he's
tries
insightful.
Yes.
He like picks up on all of these little nuances of all the other characters. So good.
Absolutely love it. Yeah.
And
I'm excited
oh my goodness. On point.
So how difficult was it to learn kind of that like English German style accent?
Actually, in college, I went to the University of Minnesota, so I was like classically trained. My forte is kind of Shakespeare and Shaw and stuff like that. But we did study dialects, different dialects and stuff. And so I know IPA, the International Phonetic Alphabet, and since we did a bunch of dialects and like learned how to listen to dialects and find the placement, the resonators that they're using, stuff like that, what the vowel sounds sound like, how you transition those, it wasn't too hard. However, German and Australian are like two of the hardest dialects for me, and for some reason I feel like I'm the token German at Funimation. Like I've had like 5 different characters that had to be German, because I guess I got one, or I started like my first, I guess, named character was a Russian, and it was just because I studied the Russian dialect in college, and they were like, oh great, you know Russian, go in and do the thing. I was like, okay, and they were like, great, we like what you're doing, keep doing the things. So I did the Russian character, and I think because of that, they were like, "Oh, well, maybe she can do German. Can you do German?" And I was like, "I mean, yeah, I can." And they were like, "Great, do it." And I'm like, "Okay." And so I started, like, after I got one German character, then I got another German character, and I got another German character. I'm like, okay, but like internally, I have kind of a complex about it, because I'm not as confident as I would like to be with my German. However, I will say that I like try very hard to distinguish the different German dialects. So we've got the German accent, and then for each of the characters, on top of finding like how thick the accent is, I also wanted to play with like geographic location, like the dialect.
Oh, nice.
That's
and
crazy.
So,
most of the time people would associate that with like British accents, trying to pick out the different areas. I never knew that it was kind of the same for German dialects.
Oh my gosh.
See, I know I've read and seen like just about every country has, you know, a northern, a southern, a more country style accent, and you know, I've read stuff about people learning other languages in a different country, and so they'll speak, you know, like German with a Spanish accent.
Yes, that I'm trying not to curse. I'm trying so hard.
Oh, you're fine. We don't care. We make sure the explicit's on there.
Perfect. Great. Okay. So yes, like that sort of thing. Like we have like my mechanic is he's from Vietnam, but he's got a really deep Southern accent, and you can hear the mix of those accents like combating while
the dissonant accents.
It's really fascinating. All of that is so interesting to me. But going back to German, with all the different dialects and stuff, there was Azur Lane was a character. I had a German character, Prince Eugen was German, and it was a dialect that was much more stereotypical for like posh sort of proper German kind of.
Okay.
And I I didn't get directly, but my director had told me, she had asked if I had gotten like direct hate messages and death threats and stuff, because I was getting death threats on like forums. Like we were getting some backlash.
Oh no.
Oh, man.
For my character that I played. Whether it was because they didn't like that I had the lower register for her, because she was, I think I had her like down here a bit, versus up here. And I don't think, some people didn't like that, but some people were specifically going after the dialect. And I listened to this podcast called The Illusionist, and they had an episode about the distinction between the dialect that you would find in like East Germany and West Germany, and the split being where the Berlin Wall was, you know, like like that, all of the politics that surround just the dialects that you hear from people.
Oh,
you
wow.
know, and how much the dialect that someone is using impacts whether they're considered an in-group or the enemy, you know.
Oh yeah.
Based on like the sociopolitical turmoil that was happening. And so like there was a lot more wrapped into my choice of how to go about that dialect than I was like, that I fully understood, you know.
Oh geez. I can only imagine.
And it's just dialect, but like there's so much involved with just these phonemes. Like that's wild to me, that the specific phonemes, what people use, how they say their vowels, completely alters how one person views that other person.
You just need you need David Hasselhoff to kind of just come in and smooth things over for you.
Yep.
I think the Hoff could have gotten it done for you.
Probably. I make things too difficult.
So you got introduced with Fruits Baskets. Were there any other anime that you were interested in before you started doing anime?
Oh gosh. There was that anime that I cannot remember the name of, but I know that there was a little boy, and he had either idiot was written on his forehead, or it was written on the lady's forehead that he found. But like,
oh man, one of our listeners is gonna know exactly what that is.
And I'm
blanking.
Because like that was something, that was my first, like, I think that was the movie that I was talking about or something like that. And I like, oh no, I just remembered when I was like really little, like like really little. I don't know if you can consider this anime, but does anybody know of, what is it called? Like the Superbook or Superbook series? It was in the anime style.
Were they like the fairy tales?
It was like Bible stories.
Okay.
Like the brother and sister would like jump into the Bible and like go be part of the Bible stories.
I don't know. That sounds like such a Midwestern thing, though.
I know, right? Oh my god! But like, I was little, I didn't understand what was happening to me. But I think that might be my first introduction to the style.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I think for us it was probably like the Pokemon
and Dragon Ball.
Yep.
Maybe. Especially Dragon Ball.
A little bit.
Yeah. Did you get caught up in that craze? I mean, I don't.
Not too much. Oh, there was one series that, again, the same boyfriend, from my sister's boyfriend, introduced me to Lane Serial Experiments. And when I first started at Funimation, I remember walking into the little kitchenette that they had, and there was a little magnet of Lane. And like all of a sudden my brain, like all of the connections were being made, and I was like, oh my god, I'm in the same place where they record. Holy shit. Like I was like on cloud nine. I can't believe I forgot that. Yeah. So that was one that I watched in one sitting, like all night. And that morning, it was so long ago. It was like way back when I was in school. And that morning, I remember just like being really shaky. I was just shaky the whole time because of the power of the story or something. I don't know.
Oh
See,
yeah.
that kind of answers one of the questions I always like to ask is like, what was a moment that made you realize that you were a part of the community? But
It was that magnet.
now,
That magnet said it all for me.
the power of magnets. How do they work?
Right.
I can't lie. I do like a nice magnet thing. You know, I've got my Fallout magnet and Lord of the Rings magnet. It's
to follow
got me
up
there.
on that. Who do you remember the first person you met that kind of made you geek out? Like, oh my god, I can't believe I get to meet you because of my job.
Or was it somebody that you may have didn't know really what they're going to mean to you, and you sort of geek out for them now?
Ooh. Oh.
We're adding layers
Ooh.
onto the questions.
I like to make things complicated.
I'm trying to like disconnect from like, because like I don't get starstruck. And maybe that's because I've been an actor my whole life, and so because I have that background, I don't see them as
sort of
also this like larger than
professionalism.
life person.
It's kind of how I am a little bit. Like, I'll recognize your accomplishments, but I'm not going to be like, oh my god,
Right.
You can ask Russell. Like, there's been one person we've talked to that got me extremely like worked up, and that was Dorothy Fawn. And I don't even know what triggered it, but I was just like in the moment, like, and started to like stutter and.
Yep. See, yes. So I know what that experience is though, because I have acted a fool like the three interactions that I've had with this person. I have just made a complete fool of myself, and that is Amanda fucking Palmer. For some reason, I in her presence, just like I short circuit. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. And then I walk away like, why are you so dumb?
I swear I'm not like that in real life.
Yeah.
Come on.
This isn't me.
So what else do you geek out for?
I get let's see.
I mean, we can leave the realm of anime and just like in general,
in general
through your life, what have you geeked out for?
I am super into like sci-fi fantasy novels and stuff like that. Like I really like Douglas Adams. I really like Terry Pratchett and Discworld and all that jazz. My favorite movie is The Fifth Element. I think if I had to watch one movie for the rest of my life, it would be The Fifth Element.
Nice.
I liked his newer one. I not new now.
Valerian.
Like, Valerian. Yeah, I loved that movie.
Yeah,
that was
I really
great.
liked that one too.
I didn't know he was French.
Oh, you need to see that. What did you say?
It's very good. I have it on DVD. You can borrow that one too.
Oh,
I didn't know the director was French, and
I didn't either.
Yeah. And then that got me down this whole rabbit hole of director. This is kind of like why we do this. It's just kind of we watch something and then we want to learn more about it and behind the scenes. Like we've both watched the entire like appendices of the Lord of the Rings DVDs about how they made the movie.
I actually was just telling him I picked up the last Hobbit movie extended edition, so now I'm gonna do like a full 24-hour marathon.
Okay, what did you think of the Hobbit movies?
I thought they were good in and of themselves. If you try to do a book to movie comparison, no, you're going to be left disappointed, completely disappointed. Yep. But if you watch them just as a movie, you disconnect it from the book, they're not bad.
Okay.
So
I felt
first one, but I
felt really bad for like Peter Jackson and Fran Welsh and the production company behind it, because the studio kind of screwed them over during the production of it. Like they made some promises and they didn't follow through, and they cut their time short, and they really hurried them a lot more.
That happens a lot.
They did feel
in the entertainment
rushed.
Business.
Yeah.
It's not a great industry.
No, yeah, I know. Some people are only in it for the money. Go figure. I don't.
That's something that I have a really hard time with, and I get super. I get super invested in like the philosophies behind everything, life experience.
Right.
And that's one thing that I have an issue with, is like I love the storytelling is so not just transcendent, but it helps organize and categorize your experience of the world and connect to the humanity, basically. So like there's such a noble
Yeah.
element to the idea of storytelling in a vacuum, basically. But when you
Right.
put it inside of an industry, like literally manufacturing this entertainment, and when you go from marketing your skills as an actor to marketing yourself as a human that you want to hire,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of animosity around how warped that feels. Like it just feels wrong.
Well, it's suddenly you are the product,
Right.
versus your voice or your performance being the
it's
product.
really a
Right.
lot of
Yeah,
what
and
it
the
is,
character,
too.
the story is like the message versus like, versus me being a commodity, and that just feels ooky to me, I guess.
Yeah.
I totally get that.
Like I don't have an interest in me being famous. I don't have an interest in me getting the aplomb. I have an interest in allowing these stories to reach those who it needs to reach.
Oh yeah.
You know? Because story has always been such an important aspect of my growth. Like all of these books behind me, like I'm obsessed with stories, and that's what I want to shine. But when you make it about the person, it takes the emphasis off of what I think is more important, which is the story and the characters and the plot.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. See, I've always been really, really big on storytelling. One of my favorite genre of video games is RPGs, because they tell such a large story most of the time. I can't get into the stuff that's just the same stuff over and over and over and over again. So, well,
so
are you a Whovian, Joseph?
Me. No,
I like Doctor Who.
I told Russell over here I wasn't gonna bring it up, so I wore the shirt.
So
I haven't seen the latest season though.
I haven't
seen the most recent, and Russell hasn't seen.
I haven't seen
much
any
at all.
clips and stuff here and there, and it's not because.
Oh my gosh!
I know.
But we have HBO Max, and it's up to date. So
it's not because
cut up.
Lack of interest. It's so daunting because there's so much to get into.
He's a late bloomer.
One episode at a time.
Yeah,
I believe in you.
We always wanted to at our house just buy like Weeping Angel type statues.
No. Why would you do that?
Anytime we have somebody over, anytime we have a guest sleeping, we just start rearranging them while they're asleep.
Oh my gosh. I'm never coming to your house. Ever.
No, that was my introduction to it, actually, is I would fall asleep. I worked third shift. I would fall asleep during the day on the couch with she was my girlfriend at the time, and she would watch Doctor Who, and I started having really bad nightmares, and I couldn't figure out why. And she was watching through some of the Weeping Angel episodes. But
Neil Gaiman.
Who's your favorite?
He's another good one.
Who's your favorite Doctor of the new? Do you have a favorite?
Shoot. Who is the one who was the first season? Just one season before he left? Eccleston.
Yeah.
I like Eccleston. I go back and forth between him and the Fezzes are cool.
Matt Smith.
That's his name.
Yeah.
I go back and forth.
Well, Matt Smith's whole thing was very more of a longer story arc. It was the first time it felt more like watching a movie than it did watching just a low budget TV show.
Yeah.
I liked Eccleston because I don't know, he was the first Doctor I ever watched, and
Me
a lot of
too.
people always have.
Do you
a
think
passion
that's
for
why?
that.
Do you think that's why we have affinity for him?
I
He's
always
our
hear
first?
that. I always hear that.
So what you're telling me is that's what I need to start with, is that season.
Yes.
Definitely,
Because
yeah.
that
It's a
was
great
your guys'
introduction.
first. Yeah. All right.
Start with the 97 movie, actually.
Oh my god.
I
Dude,
can't
I've
tell if
tried-
he's being serious.
I tried to like go to like the very, very, very beginning and like
Oh,
try to get clips
I
of
went-
like the black and
I
white.
went through that.
I couldn't.
It's
I
hard.
stopped.
Well, you know why?
hard.
Because it was when they first pitched the show, it was to be a educational show.
Mhm.
And so a lot of those older episodes really feel like
Yep.
they hit hard. There's a reason it was aired on PBS. It was
So I
Ooh.
will say another educational show that I enjoyed was the Magic School Bus.
Magic School
Oh,
Bus.
my
Yeah,
goodness.
kids love it, and they brought it
Yes.
back, redid it. You know,
They
new
did?
episodes. Yeah, on
No,
Netflix.
they didn't.
Different teacher.
Yeah.
It's her cousin or niece
Is that
or
it?
something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're right.
But she does show up a couple times.
Okay.
yeah.
So
yeah,
she does
does.
show up a few times, but it's a new class,
But it got my.
but
kids
it is
into
actually
it,
pretty fun.
so that's
Yay.
always good. The-
Yeah, I've made sure to
don't-
watch that with my son a few times, and
I don't
he always
usually have
really
a-
enjoys it.
I don't usually have a problem with the recreating stuff because a lot of times it gets my kids into things that I used to be into, and so it's a good
Well-
way to bond.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, it's not made for us. You know,
Right.
It's made for the kids and the newer generations, and
How do you think? What do you guys think about? I don't know. Am I turning into an old curmudgeon when I like see the cartoon styles and stuff, or like of just the styles, like not the storylines.
Yeah.
Right? I like the storylines, but like just the styles, or
It's
No,
because it's CGI
it's
now, or
getting
computer
weird.
3D animated, and like part
Yeah.
of it is like missing that 2D.
there's so much that's just so weird and out there for the sake of being weird and out there, and it's not.
Yeah.
There's not enough plot or story. So when you do have some of the newer stuff, like, you know, Adventure Time, for example, which is a fantastic show, you know, Craig of the Creek is another really fun one that I found
I've heard
recently. That one's really fun. But you try to watch some of these other ones, and it's just like, what the hell is
Well, like,
going on?
I grew up.
It makes me feel like they're training them for like not being able to focus for long periods of time.
Yeah.
Like they're just like,
I've got ADHD. I don't need a show that makes me feel like it's worse. You know?
yeah, like they're normalizing the inability to focus on something. I don't know, but part of me is like, maybe I'm just being an old curmudgeon and I need to sit on my front lawn and say, "You're
If you have to-
dying."
Get off of my lawn!
If you have to step back and think honestly about it, it's probably a little bit of both.
Yeah, I mean, probably.
So, but no, like me, like I was so against Teen Titans Go because I loved the original Teen Titans.
Oh, the original's so good.
and I was so upset. And then they're doing a live action Powerpuff Girls, and
I know.
I showed him the
I'm not
pictures,
okay with it.
and
I
his
don't-
first
I don't-
reaction was no.
I don't like it. I don't
I'm like, why
like
are
it.
they adults?
But then,
They're like, and that's,
yeah.
that's another, holy shoot. That's another tangent that I would want to go on, is like, well, no, that's another tangent that I often go on in my room by myself. On the air. It's like casting like older people for younger.
Yeah.
Like that
Mhm.
whole, like it warps our understanding of what 14-year-olds look like.
Look, our generation growing up thinking that high schoolers had full beards and were like 6.5 feet tall. No,
Yeah.
that
Not
was
to say that
unexpected.
can't happen.
No.
To some.
But going in your freshman year expecting to go in and look like somebody who's 30, you know, I feel
And
like our
I
generation
get
was
paid
ruined
for
with that.
Like on stage, I will play the last, character that I played was like 15, and I'm 32 now, and I'm still playing 15-year-olds on stage. So
Right.
how, and I've never actually on stage. That's part of why I like it. anime it has nothing to do with my physical body. It has everything to do with like where I can place my voice.
Yeah.
So I've been able to play like teachers or mothers or something. And on stage, because so much of it is still, we're visual creatures often, like that's our primal like our primary sense. I go on stage and I've never played a 32 like I've never played my age. I've always been younger.
See, I've always been assumed that I'm older than I am, so I was 17, people thought I was 25. I was like, man, what have I been doing the last few years? I need to go to some bars.
If I shave, I get carded.
Oh yeah, if this is gone, I have such a baby face. My wife says she can't be seen with me in public if I clean shave, so
I had a complex because my little sister is like 5 inches taller than me, and she she shot up, and she definitely looks like 5 years older than me. Not now she looks her age, but like back then I had a complex, and I was like, I'm carrying the car keys. I don't care if you're driving. I'm carrying the car keys because I am older. I am older than you.
So going back a little bit, do you play any video games?
I like watching video games, but I get too like I can't even play like a freaking board game without needing a week off afterwards. I get so like I learned from a very young age when I was like in elementary school that I was like, I am way too competitive for my own health to handle this. And so I have such a hard time with like chess and games like that like playing video games. I was just like I can't. And I will also say they were a little bit soured for me with one of my friends in Minnesota. She invited me over and we would have sleepovers. So it was great, good times, right? And she had the video games, and there was one like we were playing, both of us were these different creatures, and like it was a split screen, right? And we were trying to get to the top of something, and she told me that I was the blue one, and so I was playing like the blue one, and I was like, man, I'm so good at this. And then the blue one wins, and she goes, yeah, and she's like, ah. And I'm like, what?
That is wrong.
Like, you're the big one.
That was wrong.
And then I tried to play again and look at the right one, and I was shit. And I was like, I can't do this. I will say I like Mario Kart, like racing. I like racing. I like doing the racy ones.
Mario Kart's super fun.
Oh yeah, it's such a fun game.
Games or anything, I'm just like, no.
What about like a Mario Party? Can you get down with like a Mario Party game? Yeah.
See, that's almost...
That's when I get super competitive.
Just like my wife. Like, she won't play certain games with me anymore. One, I'm a little ruthless. No mercy for anybody.
Friendships will be ruined.
Yeah.
At game night.
Some of her friends won't play Monopoly with me anymore.
I hate Monopoly. Why do you play Monopoly?
It was Pokemon Monopoly. So, I mean, it was Pokemon. But
oh, nice. Okay.
But like when I first started getting her into video games a little bit, because she played World of Warcraft back in like high school and stuff, and then she just kind of stopped playing video games, and video games are a big part of my life and my childhood and everything. So I started getting her into it, and we played Mario Kart. And at first, she was that very competitive, like, no, I can't believe you beat me again. But being what was I last time? 26th in the world for one of the speedrunning categories in Mario Kart 8.
Dang.
Yeah, so she's just accepted if she gets second place, it's first place.
Right, in relation to you.
But like she won't play card games with me anymore, like Magic the Gathering I like to play, and she won't play that. Or she'll sit down, she'll play a couple games with me, and then it's another 2 months before she's willing to play again.
Yep. That's me. When I was little, like my favorite game I think was because I was super into computer games. Like those are the games that I played when I was a kid, and like I really liked our Page Master computer game. I would play that all the time. I loved that thing.
Heck yeah. I got my kids into Page Master recently. We found it at a half price on DVD. They liked it.
That's awesome.
No,
That's a good
that's
movie.
that's like, and then Space Jam, and now we're getting a new Space Jam, and we get to enjoy it all over again. The good thing
Oh,
about that
yeah.
is you have a lot of the similar voice actors in those ones that have been doing those characters for so long. So they're
That's what I liked about
Mhm.
Fruits Basket was like they were bringing back, like
Yeah.
Jerry and
Yeah.
everybody. Yeah, that was
I don't
I like that a lot.
like I get like recasting when you're doing the series over again or revoicing or revamping. I
Yeah.
get like recasting, but it feels like sometimes they go out of their way to get different voice actors. Like, well, we
Mhm.
just want everybody different. And it's like, well, if they're good at it, just give them a shot.
Right.
If they're
Especially
really
in this, I mean, come on. It's the work is so saturated and like you become so invested in this character. Like it's a lot of characters are like they're personal to you, you've embodied them and
yeah.
to just like meh, I'm gonna give it to this other person. Like it kind of it's more personal, I guess. It kind of hits you a little harder because you're
Mhm.
like, but I love them. They were my life for like several months.
Like
Yeah,
they
they
are
really
me.
Right, yeah.
they did that to the whole like Pokemon cast. Like, you guys are making too much money now. You're out. Let's get a new
That's it.
group
Yeah.
of
Money is a lot to do with it. That's why I'm still not part of like the equity actors union or anything
right,
here because in Texas where I am now, it's a right to work state, and so
right.
and a lot of the shows that they do, a lot of the live performances, the theaters only have enough to hire like one or two union actors,
Yeah,
and usually those will go to the main characters, and usually the main characters tend to be male 35 to 40-year-olds, and so oftentimes the characters that I would go out for would be side characters, and they would rather hire a fresh out of college ERC actor
right.
versus an actor that's part of the union that they would have to pay union wage to.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
difficult.
Yeah, it's really complicated, and I it's sad. That makes me sad.
I'm bringing us
Thank you.
down. I'm sorry.
Uh,
I didn't mean to make you sad. Hey, I can make you feel uncomfortable, maybe.
Oh, go for
I
it.
was thinking about recasting and stuff, or versus bringing people back.
yeah.
And I guess going back to the question about like that starstruck nature, I
Right,
did
right.
like I had been working with Jerry Jewell for like really long time in a bunch of shows. Like he was directing me in a bunch of shows. We have a great rapport, right? And when I found out that he played Kyo and he was bringing back Kyo for Fruits Basket, my little 15-year-old heart went, that's uncomfortable, because when I was little, little teenage girls falling in love with little Fruits Basket characters and like fantasies, and they have a little, and then I'm like, that doesn't feel right. That's not okay. Jerry doesn't know this, by the way.
Do you want me to cut
that's
this?
the thought process that was going through my head. I was like, I'm not okay with this.
I doubt he'll ever listen to it. But do you want me to cut that out? I can do that for you.
You do you, boo.
Do you have any just crazy on the job moments that you go through or that you've been through, whether it's on stage or in the booth or anything like that?
I mean, yes, but too many to count. I mean,
Yeah,
I guess
we hear
Well,
that a
eeny,
lot.
meeny, miny, mo.
I know. We don't do this so much anymore, but before we would do a lot of what we would call the bombs.
Oh yeah.
I use too many words in my sentences. I need to cut those out. So there was, what was this show that we were doing? Ultimate Otaku Teacher. Anthony Bowling was playing the lead. He was my brother. I was the little sister, and we would often give each other bombs. So some of those bombs were extremely inappropriate, and there were many a time being in the booth and like about to get ready to say my line, and I would hear just the raunchiest stuff coming out of my brother's mouth, and was like, no, No, can't do it.
Can you
No,
replay
that
those
happened
beeps,
quite a bit,
please?
But I would get it back. I would get it back.
Oh, that's
But
good.
like, there were tons of stuff that would happen. I don't know. Like, I've had costume debacles. I've like
Oh,
tripped
those are
over
never good.
curtains live on the stage.
Oh no,
Like all kinds of stuff have happened.
tuck and roll.
Oh, you know what happened to
Wild.
us once? We both played. What was I? Prince Charming, and you were Rapunzel.
I was Rapunzel's prince
Prince?
in Into the Woods.
I forgot to turn
Into
my.
the Woods. I played Jack.
Oh, did nice.
Nice.
Well, I forgot
There
to
are
turn my
dragons
mic
in the
off
sky.
when I walked off stage, and this is
No.
during one of the like nighttime performances, like one of the what was the Saturday night or something,
Oh,
and
no.
you just hear "damn sword" from the PA, and because I was fighting with this motherfucker all fucking night. I got called
That's
out for that
beautiful.
one.
I don't believe that this happened. But you know what? Perception is sometimes stronger than reality. So here's the story. I don't think I'm actually allowed to say this. Actually, I played a character that I guess under contract I'm not supposed to say that I played this character. So I played
Okay.
this character
What?
at some place, and I was with children. Like, it was like a children's activity thing that we were doing.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
all of the parents are like, I don't care about any of this. This is dumb. I'm going to be on my phone.
Right.
And okay, I have two stories. This first one, the perception one. So me and my partner, who is playing a different character, like we had to have a fake angry fight thing, and
Yeah.
I had said my line, but he heard it as me saying the F-bomb in front of all of these children and parents.
Oh no.
I think it like made him stop, which might have made some of the parents stop, but he thinks that the parents stopped and looked up because they heard what he heard. But I swear up and down that I did not say that word. And I like, we don't know if like the parents just like thought that I said the F-bomb in front of their children, or
Right.
if it was just him. I don't know. It was also this place that we had to play with like swords and shields and stuff and do like fighty thing. Like, I had to teach them different like moves and stuff.
Yeah.
And there were these two kids, and like the little boy kept on shoving the sword into the little girl's areas, and I was like, what are you doing? And like, they're little kids, they don't know what they're doing. They're just like punching and kicking and doing whatever, and the parents are just, they don't care. They don't care at all.
Well, that's
And
because
I'm
you're
just,
the
like,
babysitter.
surrounded by children. I'm like, a little help, please. And
don't-
I'm doing this while being this character.
I don't like other people's kids, and I don't like other people's kids' parents. So I completely
Nope,
understand that.
Nope. Yeah. Not. I just. If you're don't do that. Don't do that to actors, please.
What was the other story before you said "fuck" in front of a bunch of kids? What was the other
Oh, the
story?
other
you
story
said?
was the sword thing, the sword debacle, and the parents
that one.
completely ignoring the fact that there was a lot going on that I was not prepared for.
Yeah. Well, they didn't tell you were a babysitter.
Yeah, they didn't.
left
That
out.
was not in my contract.
That falls under the and any other things.
Right. Yeah.
Oh man, we have this question we ask, and I think I'll open it up a little more, seeing as you are more than just an anime fan. You love like sci-fi and all that stuff.
Yes.
If you were to if you would have to be trapped in a world or a different universe,
You got isekai'd into a universe.
yeah, which one would you want to be in?
Oh my god.
If it's too broad, we can narrow it down a little bit.
Okay. Do I also get superpowers?
Well,
I see. This was a discussion earlier too. Is like, like for me, I sort of coaxed Ryan Levy into choosing Pokemon.
Pokemon. Did you really just
because
Pokemon it?
Because I'm just like, What if you got
Comedy.
stuck? What if you got stuck at Hogwarts, but you couldn't do magic? You know, what if you got
Right.
stuck in the Star
Right.
Wars universe, but you couldn't
Use the Force.
use the
Yeah,
Force?
yeah.
If you got stuck in Pokemon, any idiot can have a Pokemon. Team Rocket proved that, you know. So that was my choice. But so we've
let's broaden it out.
Started with a mixed bag of nuts, but let's say you could.
Let's say you could you got isekai'd in and you get to choose.
You're the main character.
You're the main character.
Whatever universe you're in.
You know what? I think I'd probably, as dangerous as I think it is, because honestly, I think it is quite dangerous to live in this world. At the same time, I think a lot of people have an immune system more like a cartoon, where like if you get hit by like something, if you get slammed by something, like maybe your bones don't totally break and you die. So I'd probably want to go to Discworld and live in Discworld, Terry Pratchett's Discworld.
Okay,
that's a good choice. That's a unique choice.
I like it.
I love his writing. It's so stinking good. It's so.
I need to read more of the books, but I've seen quite a few of the movies, and I've just loved the movies.
I would recommend also. You never forget your first. I would recommend soul music. That was my introduction to Discworld, and since you guys are musicians, from what I could tell, I think that one would, strike your fancy a bit.
You would choose to be stuck in Discworld. Now, if you had to be stuck as a character you've played, in their voice, wait,
an anime character or like stage character as well, like any character? Or like anime specific, because that's the world that we coexist in right now.
Any voice that's not your own voice.
Yeah, any voice that's not. So stage, you usually use your own voice most of the time, unless there's like an accent. Yeah. I played a Russian guy in high school.
Yeah, I played a Russian babushka in college.
Was I there when you played a Russian guy?
What play was that? You Can't Take It With You. I was the Russian ballet instructor. And I even talked the director into letting me have fake chest hair and a button down shirt down to here. I had this.
If there was no orchestra, I do not have any recollection.
No, it's a play. It's not a musical. Thank goodness. I don't know how that would go as a musical. I don't think I can sing in a Russian. I probably can't even do a Russian accent.
We asked her a question.
We did.
It's not about you. This is about her.
Okay,
Gosh.
Fine. Okay, so I'm split between two. And one of them is...
We'll judge for you.
Okay. One of them is Lesia. She's the Russian assassin that was that original character.
Nice. Yeah.
From Sword World, something. I can look it up.
Somebody will fix it for you.
Sword Art.
Sword of the World.
Okay.
Let's
pull up the IMDb here.
Arshavinia. Sword anime or something. Of course it's a sword anime. That does not narrow it down at all.
Man, you've really narrowed this down. I bet I can find it now.
I don't know what it is. It was a long time ago. I'm sorry. I'm bad with names. Okay, the other one. I also don't remember the title of the anime. It's like it's not Magical Girls, but it's something like that. And the character that I played, I believe his name is Geese. And he was a boy that he had a really tragic past. That's one thing that I really like about playing young boys, is that I usually get to play like I get to do the episodes where you get the backstory of the character.
Yeah.
And it's always like really tragic and dramatic and meaty, and I love it. So his backstory is also quite tragic, but he like is fused with this giant, not quite Darth Vader-y, like much cooler bodysuit, mechanical whatever. He has.
Did you say cooler than Darth Vader? Did you say cooler than?
Yeah.
I mean,
Don't get him started on Star Wars. We don't have time for
Darth
this.
Vader was my favorite growing up. I had a poster of him and everything. I was super into Darth Vader. But like, it's
really
like,
cool then.
It's an upgrade.
It's super cool. Okay.
It's an upgrade.
Cool.
So that one.
So I do have a question I like to ask everybody.
No, I refuse.
You have a lot of questions you like to ask everybody.
This is my baggage that I like to push off onto other people. So, do you like the sound of your own voice?
Hey, this is Felix, and you've been listening to the Two Dads at a Podcast interview series. For more content, like and subscribe to this channel. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitch, and everywhere podcasts are available. To help us bring you more of these amazing interviews, you can support us on our Patreon. Just follow the links below, and thanks for watching.